facing the police every single day.
Internal Affairs. Internal Investigation. IA 18-14. Nancy Pagliaro. Investigator, Sergeant Jason Zakoish. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust PAGE 1. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Summary of Incident. On May 22, 2018, Jail Clerk Gene Essling, hereinafter referred to as Essling, completed an incident report regarding several concerns with Jail Clerk Nancy Pagliaro, hereinafter referred to as Pagliaro. The concerns were in reference Pagliaro having close relationships with inmates, continued relationships with inmates after they are released, meeting with inmate attorneys to work harder on the case, and altering procedures to limit the amount of time an inmate would be at the Department of Corrections. Some of the concerns stemmed back to 2015. A more detailed account of the concerns are outlined in the recorded interview of Essling, found below. Based on the incident report, Lieutenant Melissa Kilby, hereinafter referred to as Lieutenant Kilby, conducted an initial investigation. Lieutenant Kilby obtained recorded interviews from Essling, Jail Classifications Clerk Marie Reed, and CDFC Colby Mazzoni. She was able to pull up former inmate account documents Pagliaro completed, which indicated some suspicious discrepancies with the information Lieutenant Kilby obtained. An official internal affairs investigation was opened, and I was assigned as the lead investigator. I obtained all of the initial information and material from Lieutenant Kilby. After review of all of the information, Jail Clerk Donna Smith, Jail Clerk Anna Peacock, Jail Clerk Lisa Yergin, former inmate Kelly Richardson, former inmate Jamie Marshall, former inmate Kizzy Wade, former inmate Zachary Lanning, and former public defender Robert McCormick were identified as potential additional witnesses. Notification of internal investigation. On June 11, 2018, Jail Clerk Nancy Pagliaro was notified she was being investigated by the Internal Affairs Unit. Pagliaro was advised the investigation would pertain to conduct unbecoming and association with criminals. Pagliaro was provided with a confidentiality of internal investigations form, which she signed and understood. She was also provided with a copy of the Weingarten rights while she is under investigation. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust PAGE 2. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office General Order. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Operations Manual General Order GO 3.50. Correspondence. G.0.3.50 F.4.D.12, Conduct unbecoming. Members will conduct themselves at all times, both on and off duty, in such a manner as to reflect most favorably on the office. Conduct unbecoming a member will include that which tends to bring this office into disrepute or reflects discredit upon the member, or that which tends to impair the operation and efficiency of this office. G.0.3.50 F.4.D.48, Association with criminals. Sheriff's Office personnel shall avoid regular or continuous association with persons who they know or should know are under criminal investigation or indictment, or persons who have been convicted of a felony offense, except as necessary in the performance of official duties or, where unavoidable because of immediate family relationships. Immediate family is defined as parents, grandparents, spouse, children, or brothers and sisters. Any association with persons under criminal investigation or indictment or with a convicted felon shall be immediately disclosed to a supervisor in the chain of command, regardless of Any family relationship. Summary of Jean Essling's statement given to Lieutenant Kilby. On May 25, 2018 at 9:48 a.m., Lieutenant Kilby met with jail clerk Jean Essling at the Charlotte County Jail in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Essling was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Essling also read and signed the confidentiality of internal investigation, integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 3. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office form. She advised she understood the form and did not have any questions regarding the context of it. Essling advised she completed an incident report on May 22, 2018, regarding incidents stemming back to 2015. The accusations in the report were regarding jail technician Nancy Pagliaro, who trained Essling in 2015. Essling described several concerns regarding Pagliaro's contact with inmates, and other suspicious incidents. Pagliaro was sympathetic towards inmates Kelly Richardson, herein after referred to as Richardson, and Jamie Marshall, herein after referred to as Marshall. Essling advised Clerk Marie Reed also witnessed several of these incidents. One incident was regarding inmate Richardson, who was going to be sentenced to the Department of Corrections, herein after referred to as Doc. Pagliaro was concerned, and did not want Richardson to go to Doc, or get any probation time, because she knew Richardson would violate. Richardson's attorney was described as an older man with a name that starts with MC. The attorney was later identified as former public defender Robert McCormick, herein after referred to as McCormick. McCormick would come in periodically to talk to the inmates he represented. Pagliaro told Essling she was going to go to dinner with McCormick in order to have him work harder on Richardson's case. Essling directly witnessed Pagliaro talk with McCormick about going out to dinner. After they went to dinner, Pagliaro directly told her it was a success, and McCormick was going to work harder on Richardson's case. Essling believed Richardson was ultimately released with credit time served in the Charlotte County Jail, and without probation. Essling described a second concern involving Richardson, where Pagliaro assisted Richardson by trying to find her housing and employment when she was released from the jail. Essling advised Pagliaro arranged for housing through a former landlord. Pagliaro also tried to get Essling to sell a car to Richardson, which Essling had for sale. Essling refused to sell the car to Richardson. After Richardson was integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 4. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office released from jail, Pagliaro went to dinner with her several times, and even made the comment she knew she could get in trouble for it. Essling described a third incident where Pagliaro called her into a room where a black male inmate was, with a few other inmates. Pagliaro said, "I just love him," and wanted Essling to see how ripped he was. Pagliaro had the inmate lift up his shirt to show off his abs, and Essling was uncomfortable, so she left. She did not report the incident, because she was just off training and wanted to go back and do her job. Essling described a fourth incident where Pagliaro told her she did not want to put a specific white male on the dock transport list. Pagliaro was going to hold back on submitting his transport paperwork so he did not have to spend as much time at the dock. Essling estimated Pagliaro holding the paperwork for approximately 3 weeks. Essling described a fifth incident, which occurred recently, where a female inmate was released, and being provided her property. When going through the property she was upset, stating Pagliaro was supposed to put extra clothing in for her. Essling did not speak to Pagliaro about it, and advised the female that was all the property. Essling could not remember who the female was. Essling described a sixth incident regarding former inmate Jamie Marshall always coming to the window, wanting to talk to Pagliaro. Marshall would come in with other people, her baby, or by herself, to talk to Pagliaro. Essling would relay the message to Pagliaro, but does not know if Pagliaro actually went and spoke with Marshall. While Essling was in training, Pagliaro also made her sign into her Facebook account in order to specifically block another clerk, Clerk Mullen, and her two daughters. Essling was not going to do it because she did not have a problem with any of them, but Pagliaro told her to do it right then. Integrity, professionalism, trust. PAGE 5. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Essling also described several concerns between Nancy Pagliaro and Corporal Michael Kern, which were already investigated under IA 18-13. A short time after the interview, Essling emailed Lieutenant Kilby, and was able to advise the former male inmate who Pagliaro reportedly altered and or held his doc commitment paperwork, was Zachary Lanning. Summary of CDFC Colby Mazzoni's statement given to Lieutenant Kilby. On May 28, 2018 at 9:05 p.m., Lieutenant Kilby met with CDFC Colby Mazzoni, herein after referred to as Mazzoni, at the Charlotte County Jail in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Mazzoni was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Mazzoni also read and signed the confidentiality of internal investigation form. She advised she understood the form and did not have any questions regarding the context of it. Mazzoni advised she was employed with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office in October 2013, as a classifications clerk. She remained in that position until May 2015. For approximately 1 year, she worked directly with Nancy Pagliaro. Mazzoni did not recall Pagliaro having a close relationship with any inmates, altering any documents, or any other suspicious incidents. Summary of Marie Reed's statement given to Lieutenant Kilby. On May 31, 2018 at 10:07 a.m., Lieutenant Kilby met with Jail Clerk Marie Reed, herein after referred to as Reed, at the Charlotte County Jail in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Reed was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Reed also read and signed the confidentiality of internal investigation form. She advised she understood the form and did not have any questions regarding the context of it. Integrity, professionalism, trust. PAGE 6. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Reed advised she worked for an outside company, Express, and in April 2015, she was being trained as a classifications clerk. She was hired with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office as a classifications clerk in June 2015. Pagliaro was her trainer in classifications. While working with Pagliaro, she observed Pagliaro being too friendly with inmates. One specific inmate Pagliaro frequently talked to, including personal information, was the intake cleaner, Kelly Richardson. Reed witnessed Pagliaro talking to Richardson's public defender, who Reed identified as Robert McCormick, at the window, and they were laughing, and he said, "Are we still on for tonight?" and Pagliaro replied with yes. After Richardson was released from jail, Pagliaro still talked to her on the phone, and indicated to Reed that Richardson is doing good, working at a Hungry Howie's in Fort Myers, and found an apartment. She knows one of the conversations between Pagliaro and Richardson occurred on the phone while at the jail, but Reed did not know if Pagliaro talks to Richardson on her personal phone, or if it Was a jail phone. Reed advised she was not aware of Pagliaro withholding doc paperwork on an inmate, but did advise Pagliaro was the person who mainly handled doc paperwork at that time. Reed was able to review the doc commitment paperwork for prior inmate Zachary Lanning, hereinafter referred to as Lanning, which Pagliaro had completed at the time. When Lanning transferred to the doc, Reed was the person who signed off on the paperwork, with the date of September 17, 2015. When reviewing the paperwork during this interview, she did notice the commitment sentencing was signed 4 weeks prior to September 17, 2015. Reed advised the process normally takes 2 to 3 weeks, and could not account why it would have taken a month, but indicated it does happen on occasion. Reed described an incident where Pagliaro came up to the clerk window with Clerk Anna Peacock, hereinafter referred to as Peacock, and asked if inmate Kasey Wade had been released, as Pagliaro was her ride. Reed thought this was odd, but integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 7. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office did not see who Kasey Wade left with, and did not look into it further. At the same time, Peacock told Reed, she heard Pagliaro was renting her house out to former inmates. While Reed and Essling were new, Essling told her about the incident with Pagliaro having an inmate show Essling his muscles. Reed did not witness the incident, but thought it was inappropriate. Summary of Donna Smith's statement given to IA. On June 13, 2018 at 2:26 p.m., I met with jail clerk Donna Smith, hereinafter referred to as Smith, at the Charlotte County Jail in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Smith was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Smith also read and signed the confidentiality of internal investigation form. She advised she understood the form and did not have any questions regarding the context of it. Smith advised she is an intake clerk at the Charlotte County Jail, and knows employee, Nancy Pagliaro. Smith recalled some of the incidents described in the initial allegations and incident report Smith had completed. The most recent incident was on May 2, 2018, while Smith was at the intake window with clerk Anna Peacock. A former female inmate, Melissa Blaze, came to the window asking for Nancy Pagliaro. Smith advised Pagliaro was off, so Blaze said she was looking to ask Pagliaro about the programs she offered. Smith thought it was odd, as the programs are for current inmates, and did not know why a former inmate would be asking. Smith did not know of any other incidents involving Blaze and Pagliaro, but did complete an incident report for this. Smith recalled a second incident where an inmate, Kasey Wade, hereinafter referred to as Wade, was getting ready to be released from jail, and wanted to integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 8. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office know how much longer the process would be because her ride was waiting for her. Around the same time, Pagliaro came to Smith, and asked how long it would be as I am getting ready to leave, and I am her ride to take her home. Smith did not ask further about the incident, or if Pagliaro gave Wade a ride home. She advised she notified Sergeant Campbell, but did not know what happened from there. Smith did not observe any other concerning incidents involving Pagliaro, but did witness Pagliaro acting chummy with inmates she worked around. Smith also heard from Essling, Pagliaro was renting her house to former inmates, and was overly friendly with current inmates. Summary of Anna Peacock's statement given to IA. On June 13, 2018 at 2:57 p.m., I met with jail clerk Anna Peacock at the Charlotte County Jail in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Peacock was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Peacock also read and signed the confidentiality of internal investigation form. She advised she understood the form and did not have any questions regarding the context of it. Peacock advised she is an intake clerk, and does not directly work with Pagliaro. She has worked in the same area as Pagliaro previously, when Pagliaro used to work in classifications. Peacock never witnessed any direct incidents involving Pagliaro, and never oversaw her completing inmate paperwork. Peacock did complete an incident report on May 2, 2018, where a former female inmate, Melissa Blaze, approached the window asking for Nancy. Peacock questioned Blaze who she was referring to, and Blaze said Pagliaro, she has always been helpful, and I need to talk to her. Peacock advised Pagliaro had left for the day. Donna Smith talked with Blaze briefly, but Peacock did not hear what it was. Integrity, professionalism, trust. PAGE 9. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. About. Peacock also did not know of any other incidents involving Blaze and Pagliaro. Peacock did not hear of Pagliaro providing a ride to inmates, or recall an incident with inmate Kasey Wade being released. Peacock has overheard conversations in the intake area, regarding Pagliaro renting her house out to former inmates, and being over-friendly with inmates, but she has never witnessed it. She could not recall any names of who she heard it from. Summary of telephone conversation with Robert McCormick. On June 13, 2018, at approximately 3:30 p.m., I made telephone contact with Robert McCormick, a retired attorney. Based on the phone number showing for Robert McCormick, the conversation I had with him, his knowledge provided, and identifying himself as Robert McCormick, I am confident in the identity of the subject I spoke with as being former public defender Robert McCormick. McCormick did not want to meet, and asked what the reason for the call was. I explained I was an internal affairs investigator for the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, conducting an investigation on Nancy Pagliaro. McCormick advised he knew who Pagliaro was. I asked McCormick if he ever represented a female named Kelly Richardson, and he easily recalled the name, to include representing her and her other family members, on several occasions. McCormick was able to name the other family members directly, indicating he was indeed referring to the same Kelly Richardson. Of this investigation, I asked if he knew of any relationship between Pagliaro and Richardson, and he made the comment along the lines of Pagliaro looking out for her, and acting towards Richardson as a surrogate mother. He used the term surrogate mother several times when referring to Pagliaro and Richardson's relationship. McCormick advised Pagliaro did come to him while Richardson was incarcerated, trying to see how they could get Richardson help, and to be placed in a program. Integrity, professionalism, trust. PAGE 10. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. McCormick advised Pagliaro keeps in contact with Richardson since she has been out of jail, so he periodically calls Pagliaro, including fairly recently, to check and see how Richardson is doing. To his knowledge, Richardson lives in Fort Myers and has been doing good. I asked if he had knowledge of Pagliaro renting her house out to Richardson, or allowing her to stay there, and he never heard that. I asked McCormick if he ever went out to dinner with Pagliaro to discuss Richardson, and he said he split a pizza with Pagliaro one time, and ate breakfast with her on a couple of occasions. He said it was not a romantic relationship, and She did not do anything to violate the law, or interfere with his case. McCormick did make the comment that if she violated some sheriff's office policy, then that was on us to look into. At the end of the conversation, I again asked McCormick if he would meet with me and provide a statement, and he declined. A memorandum documenting this conversation was placed into the case file. Summary of telephone conversation with Kasey Wade. On June 19, 2018, at approximately 2:30 p.m., I made telephone contact with Kasey Wade. I explained who I was, and advised her I was conducting an internal investigation into an employee, and wished to meet with her. Wade advised she wanted to know who the employee was. I advised it was Nancy Pagliaro, and it took her several seconds, but responded with Ms. P. I advised her Pagliaro was a program C clerk, and Wade said yeah, Ms. P. I asked Wade what kind of relationship she had with Pagliaro, and she said there was no relationship. Wade advised she had filed several grievances against Pagliaro, and they never got along. Wade then wanted to know what the investigation was about. I advised Wade of an incident where she was being released and made the comment along the lines of "Where is Pagliaro? She is my ride." I asked Wade if Pagliaro gave her a ride home. Wade said Pagliaro did not give her a ride home, and that was not how it went down. Even though she did not get along with Pagliaro, she did not want to see her get in trouble for something she did not do. Wade advised integrity, professionalism, trust. Page 11. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Pagliaro had arranged a ride for her through the Walton Foundation, and Wade needed to get the information from Pagliaro. Jamie Walton was the person who gave her a ride home, and Pagliaro had only made the arrangement. At the end of the conversation, I asked Wade if she would be willing to provide a recorded statement, and she declined. A memorandum regarding this conversation was added to the case file. Summary of telephone conversation with Kelly Richardson. On June 19, 2018, I utilized the TLO People Search database to locate information on possible witness, Kelly Richardson, hereinafter referred to as Richardson. I located the phone number of, and two possible addresses. 1 address was in Fort Myers, Florida, and the other was Lehigh Acres, Florida. I attempted the phone number, which went to a voicemail box for Kelly, but the voicemail box was full and could not accept a message. On June 25, 2018, at approximately 1:34 p.m., I attempted to contact the same telephone number, and a female answered. I asked if the female was Kelly, and she said yes. I confirmed her last name was Richardson, and explained who I was. Richardson wanted to know what the phone call was about, and I explained I was working an investigation with an employee named Nancy Pagliaro. Richardson advised she recognized the name from when she was incarcerated in the Charlotte County Jail, but quickly stated she has not had any further contact with Pagliaro since being out of the jail. I asked Richardson if she ever lived in Pagliaro's residence, and she said no. As I was asking Richardson questions, she thanked me for calling regarding this, and quickly ended the conversation. I did not get any further information from Richardson. Summary of Jamie Walton's statement given to IA. Based on Kasey Wade's statement of obtaining a ride from Jamie Walton of the Walton Foundation, I was able to locate contact information for Jamie Walton. 1. Home, job, other. Integrity, professionalism, trust. Page 12. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Hereinafter referred to as Walton, who actually works for the Wayne Foundation. On July 12, 2018 at 1:09 p.m., I met with Walton at the Internal Affairs office in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Walton was placed under oath, and the term perjury was discussed. Walton advised she is the founder of the Wayne Foundation, which mainly deals with human sex trafficking, but she has arranged with the Charlotte County Jail to offer some travel assistance to certain inmates. Walton specifically recalled, and was able to pull up in her phone calendar, providing a ride to Kasey Wade. On November 8, 2017, Walton attended a bond reduction hearing for Wade, and was scheduled to pick up Wade on November 9, 2017. Walton was already going to be at the Charlotte County Jail for a class she teaches, and recalled giving Wade a ride after the class, which was around 2 p.m. Once she picked Wade up, she brought her to the store to cash a check, and then brought her to her bondsman. Walton indicated her main point of contact at the Charlotte County Jail for inmate ride assistance was Nancy Pagliaro, and any time she had contact with her it was professional in nature. Walton recalled an incident where a former inmate, Jessica Drake, hereinafter referred to as Drake, wanted to know Pagliaro's Facebook account name to add her as a friend, but Walton did not provide it. Drake later advised Walton she was able to find Pagliaro's Facebook account, and send a friend request. The next time Walton saw Pagliaro, she brought up Drake's name, and Pagliaro said she did receive a friend request on Facebook, but had to deny it because it was against her profession. Pagliaro wanted Walton to let Drake know it was nothing personal, just not allowed. Summary of face-to-face conversation with Jamie Marshall. On July 12, 2018, at approximately 3:15 p.m., I met with Jamie Marshall at her residence of 4900 Duncan Road, Punta Gorda, Florida. As I was speaking with integrity, professionalism, trust, PAGE 13. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Jamie, she thought I was there in reference to a previous investigation involving an incident at the jail. Former Internal Affairs investigator, Sergeant Scott Clemens, already conducted an investigation into the matter. During the conversation, I asked if Marshall recalled an employee, Nancy Pagliaro, and she said Ms. Pags. I asked if she had any incidents or concerns involving Pagliaro, and she said no. I asked the extent of interaction she had with Pagliaro, and she advised they would just talk and be friendly. Marshall said she does not have any type of friendship with Pagliaro, and does not have any continued communication with her. Marshall did advise if she is at the Charlotte County Jail for any reason, she will ask the staff to say hi to Pagliaro for her, or see if Pagliaro is working to say hi in person, but nothing more than that. Marshall did not provide a recorded statement, and continued to talk about the previous incident. A memorandum regarding this conversation was added to the case file. Summary of Lisa Yergin's statement given to IA. On July 13, 2018 at 1:53 p.m., I met with jail clerk Lisa Yergin at the Charlotte County Jail in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Yergin was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. Yergin also read and signed the confidentiality of internal investigation form. She advised she understood the form and did not have any questions regarding the context of it. Yergin advised she only worked directly with Nancy Pagliaro for approximately 2 weeks, and there was nothing suspicious or concerning she noticed. Pagliaro transferred to the jail program's clerk position, so now Yergin only sees her in passing. The only incident Yergin thought was strange was when inmate Kasey Wade was being released from jail. Pagliaro either called, or came to the window, and said they needed to hurry with releasing Wade, as she was Wade's ride home. Jamie Walton, who does programs at the jail, was also asking to hurry and release Wade. While Wade was still being processed, Walton left the inside. Integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 14. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Part of the facility. A short while later, Pagliaro again asked if Wade was going to be released soon, saying she was her ride home. Yergin and clerk Donna Smith took it as Pagliaro being Wade's ride home, and thought it was odd. Yergin did not see what occurred once Wade was released. Yergin also heard Pagliaro was renting her house out to former inmates, but she did not recall who she heard it from, or look into it any further. While reviewing the statement, it was noted I referenced the date as June 13, 2018, when in actuality it was July 13, 2018. Summary of documents obtained. Lieutenant Kilby conducted initial research into the allegations with the information obtained in the recorded statements of Essling, Reed, and Mazzoni. She located and obtained several jail incident reports. One by Lieutenant Tabitha Carter, hereinafter referred to as Lieutenant Carter, was completed on May 22, 2018, which documented her hearing from jail clerk Donna Smith and jail clerk Peacock about the incident where former inmate Melissa Blaze came to the window asking for Pagliaro. Clerk Smith also indicated there was rumor Pagliaro was having former inmates live in her home while she resided somewhere else. Lt. Carter spoke with Reed, who had heard the same, but did not know if it was true. Lieutenant Carter spoke with Essling and learned of several suspicious incidents involving Pagliaro and inmates. Based on the information she heard from Smith, Peacock, Reed, and Essling, she requested they complete incident reports on the incidents they knew about. Lieutenant Kilby also included the corresponding incident reports. The details within each incident report were included in their corresponding statements. Lieutenant Kilby also provided basic information regarding former inmate Kelly Richardson, showing she was arrested April 17, 2015 for multiple narcotics-related charges, and her public defender was Robert McCormick. The arrest was documented under Charlotte County Sheriff's Office case number 1504-009690. Integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 15. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. The document indicated Kelly Richardson was adjudicated guilty on several of the charges, and was released for credit time served of 165 days. I was able to pull up more information from the Charlotte County Clerk of Court's website, which confirmed Public Defender Robert McCormick as the attorney, charges adjudicated guilty on, and a sentence of credit time served, followed by 4 years of drug offender probation. Richardson was not sentenced to serve any doc time. I obtained a criminal history for Richardson, which indicated she had been arrested for 26 felony charges, 27 misdemeanor charges, and 12 unknown level charges. Of those charges, she had 12 felony convictions, 12 misdemeanor convictions, and 17 with unknown disposition. Lieutenant Kilby provided Kasey Wade's file and jail records, which indicated she bonded out on November 9, 2017, at 2:32 p.m. The date and time was consistent with Jamie Walton's statement. The paperwork also included several inmate grievances filed by Wade on Pagliaro. Lieutenant Kilby provided an audit trail for all events where Nancy Pagliaro went into Zachary Lanning's file. The report concluded Pagliaro either viewed modified, or printed Lanning's records 84 times between August 10, 2014 and May 25, 2016. The only note of significance was Pagliaro went into the file 10 times on one day, 7 times on 2 occasions in one day, and 6 times on another day. Lieutenant Kilby provided the sentencing paperwork, timeline paperwork, and calculation paperwork for Lanning, which indicated the credit for time served calculated by Pagliaro was 23 days more than what he actually should have been credited with. One of the dates, July 18, 2014 for extradition papers signed in Ohio, did not correspond with any of the correct documents, as nothing showed Lanning was in Ohio any time around then. The next correspondence we had with Lanning was on August 10, 2014, when he was arrested at the Charlotte County Jail on an outstanding VOP warrant. Lieutenant Kilby advised by calculating the arrest date of integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 16. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. August 10, 2014 versus July 18, 2014, it provided Lanning with the extra days of credit time served. I did some further research and located a note on July 15, 2014, in our warrants side of Zurcher, which indicated in custody in Erie, Ohio on local charges. His EIS is July 19 TTY, and fax was sent to place a detainer on July 15, 2014 to the attention of Deputy Alcala. I spoke with the Erie, Ohio jail, who advised he was in custody with them around the above time, but released to Tiffin Police Department on July 14, 2014, as there was a hold on him. I was able to contact the Tiffin Police Department, who referred me to the Seneca County Jail. I spoke with Officer Profit, at the Seneca County Jail, who was able to go through Lanning's file. There was a note placed in the file referencing a hold on Lanning for the Charlotte County Jail, which took effect on July 17, 2014. There was also a release document indicating he was released to Deputy D. Wright of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, for transportation to Florida, on July 30, 2014. Officer Profit was able to fax a copy of the release/transportation form, but advised it was difficult to read. I viewed the copy, and could barely read Zachary Lanning's name, releasing date of July 30, 2014, Sergeant D. Wright signing it, and being released to the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. I checked Facebook, and Pagliaro was not friends with any apparent former inmates, to include Kelly Richardson, Zachary Lanning, Kizzy Wade, Melissa Blaze, or Jamie Marshall. Kelly Richardson and Zachary Lanning are Facebook friends. I reviewed Nancy Pagliaro's performance file between January 1, 2014 and October 1, 2016, which indicated multiple notes in 2014 and 2015 regarding Pagliaro incorrectly calculating credit time served. The discrepancies included both too much time calculated and too little time calculated. There were no notes regarding inappropriate inmate contact or affiliation. Integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 17. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Surveillance of Nancy Pagliaro's residence. During the initial investigation by Lieutenant Kilby, Pagliaro's emergency preparedness form listed her address as 830 Fairfax Terrace Northwest Port Charlotte, Charlotte County, Florida 33948. The Charlotte County Property Appraiser website confirmed Nancy Pagliaro owned the address. There were no other addresses showing as owned by Pagliaro. On June 11, 2018, immediately following providing the notification of internal investigation to Pagliaro, I went to the residence of 830 Fairfax Terrace. There were no vehicles in the driveway, the yard was neat and clean, and looking inside the front window I observed the house to be very clean, with no indication anyone was currently residing there. There was no answer at the door. I checked the residence several more times during the investigation, with the last one being July 13, 2018, with the same outcome. I checked the mailbox and only observed mail addressed to Pagliaro. Summary of Nancy Pagliaro's statement given to IA. On July 17, 2018 at 8:55 a.m., I met with Jail Programs Clerk Nancy Pagliaro at the Internal Affairs Office at headquarters, in order to obtain a sworn recorded statement detailing her involvement in this case. Prior to the interview, Pagliaro was provided any and all material related to this case. She was given ample time to read over and review all the available information. At 10:37 a.m., Pagliaro was placed under oath and the term perjury was discussed. In addition, Pagliaro signed and acknowledged she received the Garrity advisory. Pagliaro started the interview by talking about all of TE gossip and issues with the classification staff. She indicated this investigation started after the Corporal Kern investigation, IA #18-13, and Corporal Kern and Clerk Essling were friends. Pagliaro advised she recently had to fill out incident reports regarding Clerk Peacock, Clerk Smith, and Clerk Essling, for saying things aloud, and saying false. Integrity, professionalism, trust. PAGE 18. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Things about her. Pagliaro brought up the gossip, and other issues with the classification clerks, several times during the interview. She feels most of the issues brought up against her were hearsay, or taken out of context. When we focused specifically on the allegations, Pagliaro provided information regarding each issue brought up by the witness statements. She advised she is friendly with inmates, since she has to work around them all day. She is personable with them, and asks them about their family and situation, but nothing she felt was inappropriate. She does not judge anyone, and wants the inmates to feel they are still people, and try to get the help they need. She is caring towards the inmates, and shows compassion towards them. It bothers her when some people go to jail, especially prison, since they do not realize the time they are wasting with their lives by being in jail. She also indicated she works alone, with multiple inmates, so for her safety she stays on good terms with them. On several occasions, former inmates come to the window asking for her to either tell her how they are doing, or to say hi. She never provided any inmates with extra benefits, or alter their status, but does talk and listen to them. Pagliaro denied renting her home, or arranging a rental home, for any former inmates. She also denied asking Essling to sell her car at a lower price to a former inmate. She said she did not recall any incident regarding Essling selling a car, and maybe Essling misinterpreted something said. She has received several Facebook requests from former inmates, but she always denies them. Pagliaro first discussed former inmate Zachary Lanning, and denied ever having him, or any other inmate, lift up their shirt to show her and Essling his stomach. She reviewed the credit time served paperwork, sentencing paperwork, and Department of Correction transportation paperwork. Pagliaro indicated she put the date of July 18, 2014 because that was the date extradition papers were reportedly signed in Ohio. She indicated she believed the warrant was served then, therefore starting his time for credit time served. She believed she filled out the paperwork correctly, but did indicate she had several performance notes placed in her file from times where she incorrectly filled out credit for time served. She also integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 19. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Accessed his file only for job-related reasons, and to check and make sure his Ohio information was included in the file, at his request. I asked about holding the Department of Corrections commitment paperwork, and she denied doing that for Lanning, or any other inmate. She advised the 4-week time frame was common, as they constantly called the clerk of courts to get paperwork, and work around the transportation schedule to have the inmate transported. Pagliaro then discussed her relationship with former public defender Robert McCormick. She advised she was strictly friends with him, and they never had any type of romantic relationship. She did have dinner and breakfast with him on several occasions, and even went for walks together. During the time they were together, she would talk about several inmates, asking about sending them to drug rehabilitation programs to get the help they need. She initially did not realize there were not any rehabilitation programs in Charlotte County. She also did not understand how criminal court processes worked. Pagliaro admitted to talking to McCormick about Kelly Richardson, but denied trying to get him to work harder on her case. She admitted she did not want to see Richardson go to the Department of Corrections. She denied speaking to McCormick recently, and advised the last time was approximately 2 years ago, shortly after he retired. Pagliaro discussed her relationship with Richardson. She indicated they became close when Richardson was an inmate intake cleaner. Pagliaro talked about personal topics, and saw Richardson did not have any help in her personal life, with most of her family being in jail. Pagliaro took a liking to her, and enjoyed talking to her. She never provided her with any extra benefits, or anything other than an ear to talk to. Pagliaro was aware after Richardson was released from jail she lived in a halfway house in Fort Myers, got a job working at the PETA pit, and is now pregnant. She advised one day after she heard Richardson was working at the PETA pit, she was shopping in the area and went to see Richardson at the PETA pit. They sat down and integrity, professionalism, trust PAGE 20. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Had a conversation about how well she was doing, and what was going on with her. Pagliaro was proud to see how Richardson was doing. Pagliaro enjoyed the conversation, had a great time, and gave Richardson her personal cell phone number. Pagliaro still has periodic phone contact with Richardson, to see how Richardson is doing. She also donated personal clothing to Richardson one time, when she did not have any. Pagliaro admitted to knowing it was in the policy to not associate with criminals, and her being in contact with Richardson and providing her with her cell phone number was a violation. She also knew it was wrong to go and see Richardson at the PETA pit. She decided to make a moral choice regarding Richardson, not an ethical one. She later indicated the policy was vague, and she thought a violation was going out for a drink with them, or something along those lines. She also advised Richardson called her recently, right after I spoke to Richardson on the phone, letting Pagliaro know what happened. Pagliaro told her to tell the truth. She denied speaking to Richardson prior to my phone call to her. Pagliaro recalled Jamie Marshall and Melissa Blaze, indicating that she was just an ear to them while they were incarcerated, so they like to come by and let her know how they are doing. She denied providing any extra benefits to them, or doing anything out of the scope of her duties. She does not have any type of continued relationship with them. I brought up the incident with Kasey Wade, and Pagliaro advised she never provided Wade, or any other inmate a ride home. She indicated Jamie Walton of the Wayne Foundation provided Wade a ride home. The incident was brought to the attention of a supervisor because on the miscommunication between Pagliaro and Smith, and Pagliaro completed an incident report. Pagliaro described what might have transpired regarding the former inmate who was being released, making the comment that Pagliaro was supposed to provide her with more clothing upon release. Pagliaro advised they have a program at the jail called St. Vincent de Paul, which does help provide an inmate with additional integrity, professionalism, trust. PAGE 21. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Clothing, if necessary, upon release. The inmate has to complete a request in a timely manner before being released, so the request can be approved and processed. Once it is approved, the items of clothing are provided by the program and given to the inmate when released. At the end of the statement, Pagliaro again said she made a moral decision with Richardson, and it is not a habit she does every day. After the statement was concluded, Pagliaro became slightly emotional, saying she needs her job, and was upset at the decision she made. Pagliaro said it has weighed heavily on her for the past 6 weeks. Conclusion. During the course of this investigation, I reviewed all documents regarding the chain of events and all the details involved. I have obtained all witness statements from individuals named in the investigation, other than former inmate Zachary Lanning, who I was unable to locate. In addition, I have obtained and reviewed all other supporting information, along with Charlotte County Sheriff's Office General Order 3.50, the policy governing guidelines for appropriate conduct/disciplinary procedures. Based on the statements provided by all witnesses, as well as Nancy Pagliaro's statement, it is clear she violated policies and procedures regarding association with criminals. During the course of this investigation, the following facts were revealed. On May 22, 2018, Jail Clerk Jean Essling completed an incident report regarding several concerns involving Jail Clerk Nancy Pagliaro. Through an initial investigation by Lt. Kilby, witness statements obtained, and an official internal affairs investigation, the following concerns for violations of the policies and procedures were discovered: integrity, professionalism, trust. PAGE 22. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. An allegation regarding Pagliaro providing a ride home for inmate Kasey Wade, who was being released from the Charlotte County Jail. It was determined based on statements, Pagliaro did not provide Kasey Wade a ride home, but did arrange for a ride through Jamie Walton of the Wayne Foundation. This was not a violation of policies or procedures, as it was already agreed upon for Jamie Walton to assist with providing rides for inmates. An allegation regarding former inmates Melissa Blaze and Jamie Marshall coming to the front clerk window and asking for Pagliaro. It was determined Pagliaro established a friendly conversational relationship with several inmates, including Blaze and Marshall, who also attended programs while at the jail. Pagliaro was in charge of programs, and assisting Blaze and Marshall with the programs. Blaze came to the front clerk window one time asking for Pagliaro, to find out about the programs she offered. Marshall reportedly came to the window several times, asking if Pagliaro was working, or to relay the message to say hi. These contacts were to let Pagliaro know how Marshall has been doing since being released. There was no evidence to conclude Pagliaro had an extended relationship with these former inmates. There was no evidence of a violation of policies or procedures. An allegation regarding an unnamed inmate being released, advising Pagliaro was supposed to put additional clothing in her property. Pagliaro described the St. Vincent de Paul program, which is in place to assist with providing some inmates with additional clothing when released due to not having the proper clothing, or size of clothing. There was no evidence of a violation of policies or procedures. An allegation of Pagliaro having an inmate show his ABS to Clerk Essling. Pagliaro denied the allegation, and there was no evidence to support whether the incident did or did not occur. An allegation of Pagliaro altering credit for time served dates, and purposely holding onto Department of Corrections commitment paperwork of former inmate Zachary Lanning, so he would spend less time at the Department of Corrections. Pagliaro denied these allegations based on documents recovered from Seneca. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust PAGE 23. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Ohio Jail. Along with notes in Zurcher, there were several discrepancies of which date was the correct date to use when calculating credit for time served. There were notes in Pagliaro's employee file, which indicated she calculated credit for time served incorrectly several other times for inmates, both providing too much credit and too little credit. The time frame of Lanning being sentenced versus being actually transported to the Department of Corrections was approximately 1 month. Based on having to correspond with the clerk of courts, and correspond with transportation, along with witness statements, the time frame was acceptable. There was insufficient evidence to show Pagliaro intentionally altered or held Zachary Lanning's documents. An allegation of friendship and continued contact with convicted felon and former inmate, Kelly Richardson. Based on the statements of Jail Clerk Essling, Jail Clerk Reed, former public defender Robert McCormick, and Nancy Pagliaro, it was found Pagliaro has established a relationship with Richardson, both while she was incarcerated at the Charlotte County Jail, and since she has been released. While Richardson was incarcerated, Pagliaro would enjoy talking with Richardson, and felt empathetic for her and her situation. She was friends with Richardson's public defender Robert McCormick, would eat dinner and breakfast, and go for walks with him on several occasions. Pagliaro admitted to talking to McCormick about Richardson, and several other inmates, asking why they could not be placed into drug rehabilitation programs instead of going to the Department of Corrections. Pagliaro denied specifically asking McCormick to work on Richardson's case harder, so she would not spend any time in the Department of Corrections. Once Richardson was released, Pagliaro would speak to her on the phone periodically to see how she was doing. Pagliaro learned Richardson was living in Fort Myers and working at a pita pit. One day Pagliaro was in the area, and visited with Richardson at the pita pit. They sat down, and had an enjoyable conversation, where Pagliaro provided her personal cell phone number to Richardson. Richardson has kept in contact with Pagliaro on several occasions, to let Pagliaro know how she was doing. During the course of this investigation, Richardson called Pagliaro after speaking to me on the phone, to let her know. Integrity, Professionalism, Trust PAGE 24. Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Someone from the Sheriff's Office called asking her questions about their relationship. This investigator finds there is a preponderance of evidence to indicate Nancy Pagliaro violated Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO #3.50F.4.D.48. Association with criminals and the charges sustained. Nancy Pagliaro violated this policy when she openly and knowingly developed a personal relationship with inmate and convicted felon, Kelly Richardson. Pagliaro met with Richardson's attorney, Robert McCormick, and discussed with him about her active criminal charges, trying to get Richardson into a drug rehabilitation program, instead of going to the Department of Corrections. Pagliaro continued a personal relationship with Richardson once she was released from the Charlotte County Jail, and provided Richardson with her personal cell phone number to stay in contact. This investigator finds there is not a preponderance of evidence to indicate Nancy Pagliaro violated Charlotte County Sheriff's Office Manual GO #3.50F.4.D.12. Conduct unbecoming and the charge is not sustained. I, the undersigned, do hereby swear, under penalty of perjury, to the best of my knowledge, information, and belief, I have not knowingly or willfully deprived, or allowed another to deprive, the subject of the investigation of any rights contained in SS 112.532 and 112.533, Florida Statutes. Jason Zakoish, Sergeant, Internal Affairs, Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. Redaction date, Tuesday, September 11, 2000. Use who may want to retaliate against him physically.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I just wanted you to know that I am using this stuff under fair use. And also remember to like and subscribe this channel. Also too, keep in mind I do not make any money on YouTube. This is 5 hours work a day, you know, fighting for freedom. And you can donate with PayPal and Patreon. I just want you to think about this. If everybody gives to PayPal and Patreon, Patreon is every month. Actually, PayPal you can do every month. I have 12,000 subscribers. If everybody gives, I can quit my regular job and go full-time investigations on Charlotte County, and possibly even more and beyond. So just keep that in mind. If everybody helps out, I can go full-time doing this. Thanks.